Hey everyone, welcome to Trinity Kids Online.
I'm Brady.
And I'm Jared.
And this month we're making waves, and it's all about what God does in you
to change the world around you.
So today we're making waves with self-control.
Let's get it.
Yo, thanks everybody for watching today. Whether you're having a great summer or just having an absolutely fantastic summer, we hope you're doing all the things that summer brings.
That's right. Hey, we love the fun that is summer, and you know it. We're gonna kick things off today with a little challenge time.
Woo-hoo! So challenge time today is called One Must Go Summer Edition. So you are only given a couple options, and you'll need to decide which summer thing must go.
That's right. There's no in between, so you have to choose.
So make sure you grab a friend, sibling, or adult in your home, or even your neighbors, and bring them along to play this crazy challenge time, because it's more fun when more people play.
That's right. Let's go play some challenge time.
All right, guys, for today in challenge time, we are playing One Must Go Summer Edition. Now, here are the rules. Now, imagine your room. You gotta cut a line straight down the center. Cut it in half. So there's the one side of your TV, which is the right side, and there's the left side of your TV. Now, for each of these options, I will say which side you must go to if you're going to select which option of summer. So let's go into round one, and it'll probably be easier to explain when you have an option. Here we go. Let's go round number one. We have ice cream, soda, or popsicles. Now you must go, and so you're going to choose the one you want to keep, and the other one will go get destroyed forever. So make sure you choose wisely. Now, if you're going to choose ice cream, go to the right side of your room. If you're going to choose popsicles, go to the left side of your room. Which one are you guys gonna pick? So difficult. If I had to pick, I'd probably pick an ice cream. So I would go to the right side of my room, which I'm basically already on, so that's fine. All right, let's move on to round number two. What do you guys choose? Let us know, it's always fun to know. All right, round number two, amusement park or water park? Oh my goodness, if you want to choose the amusement park, pick the right side, water park, left side. I think water park. Because, you know, water parks are just super fun in the sun. Amusement parks can get a little hot, and the water helps you cool down. So I'm gonna choose water park. What'd you guys choose? It doesn't matter, they're both fun. Moving on to round number three, we got beach on the left side, or pool on the right side. Which one do you prefer? Pool or beach? Well, beach kind of has some hot sand moments, which is a bit scary and hurts your feet. The pool, on the other hand, doesn't always have a ton of cool things. Sometimes it's just a normal little pool. And the beach has like super fun playgrounds, or you can build a sandcastle because you have sand. You know, there's definitely options for both of them. But if I had to choose, I would probably go with the beach, of course, which would be on the best place. Obviously, best place to go is the beach. All right. Round number four. This one's a tough one, guys. Hot dogs versus hamburgers. Oh no. It is dinner time, and you have to make the ultimate choice. Are you going to the right side and choosing hot dogs, or are you going to the left side and choosing hamburgers? What are you guys choosing? This is intense. This is a crazy moment. Obviously, the correct answer is, well, there's no correct answer. But if it was me, I would probably choose hamburgers because you can't really go wrong with a good hamburger. Hot dogs can sometimes be a little hit or miss. Hamburgers, pretty consistent, if you know what I'm saying. Well, guys, let's keep going. Moving on to round number five. Oh, this is a tough one. Now, this one has some pretty large implications. Would you rather kick away bug spray, or would you rather kick away sunscreen? Ooh, that one's tough. That is a tough one. Which one are you keeping? Are you keeping sunscreen or bug spray? If you're picking bug spray, go to the right side. If you're picking sunscreen, go to the left side. This is a tough one because I think bugs are soups annoying. Like, get them away. Don't want no bugs anywhere. But sunscreen, you know, you kind of need it. Getting burnt does not feel so good, if you know what I'm saying. So, probably gonna have to choose sunscreen. Going to the, you know, left side, if you know what I'm saying. Boom. Way to go, guys. Moving on to round number six. We got a final one here, guys. This one's intense. All of the lives are resting on this answer. Here we go. Which one has to go? Here we go. S'mores versus watermelon. Watermelons or s'mores. Which one are you keeping? Watermelon? If you think watermelon, make sure you go to the left side. If you're choosing s'mores, make sure you go to the right side. Which one are you guys choosing? Oh, if it was me, I think I'd have to go with the marshmallow chocolate wafer graham cracker combo of s'mores. For sure, s'mores are delicious. I know you need fire to make s'mores, but you could make oven s'mores. That's possible. They're more of a nighttime snack. Watermelon's kind of a daytime snack, you know what I'm saying? But I think, chocolate, marshmallows, those have to stay. Watermelon, whatever. But what do you guys think? Hopefully you were able to make these super important choices, because remember, the other one's just gone. So guys, thank you so much for playing One Must Go Summertime Edition. Let's kick it back to the video.
That was so fun to play, and those were some pretty challenging summer options. To choose which one must go was so hard.
Oh, no kidding. And speaking of summer, we are wrapping up our Make Waves series today, and we have been learning so much about how we can make waves and becoming the person that Jesus has created you to be. And when you love like Jesus loves and do the things that Jesus would do, you make a difference in the world around you.
The world is a big place. So just remember, this starts like right in your own backyard, like in your house with your family or in your neighborhood or as you head back to school in a little while, or maybe even just a team that you play on.
So today, the wave we want to make is all about self-control. So let's check in with Haley and see how we can grow in self-control and why on earth that would make a difference in the world around us.
As we hang out with Haley and check out the Bible story, see if there's something that stands out to you. Maybe it's a word or a phrase or something that makes a connection to your life and where you're at.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Haley. I don't know about you, but where I'm from, it gets really hot in the summertime. You have to think of different ways to cool down. Ugh. This is amazing! But what really helps me when the temperature is hot is a nice, cool, refreshing soft drink. Yes, now we're ready to make waves, because what you do today can change the world around you. Normally, when you think of waves, you think of water, but you can also make waves of love and kindness. And you can make waves by having self-control. Well, I can think of a lot of ways we lose self-control. With food, with video games, with our tempers. Sometimes we want to do something so badly that, we just do it without thinking about the consequences. And the excitement just builds and builds until, I think you know what happens next. We lose control. And a lot of the time we make a big mess. Self-control means keeping the lid on the bottle. In today's story, we'll talk about where we need self-control most of all, with our words. I better put this somewhere safe.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Inspired by the book of James, chapter 3, verses 1 through 6.
The book of James in the New Testament was most likely written by, you guessed it, James. But this James wasn't just a close friend or follower of Jesus. James was actually Jesus's brother. Okay, can you imagine growing up with Jesus as your brother? He and James might have wrestled or played ball or thought of inventions just like any other brothers. But eventually, James also came to believe that Jesus is God's son, the one sent to save the entire world. Mind blown.
I, James, am writing this letter. I serve God and the Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay, think about it seriously. What would it take for you to even consider that your brother was the Savior of the world? James saw that the power of God's Spirit was with Jesus, and James himself experienced that same power when Jesus returned to heaven. In his letter to a group of Jesus followers, James shares some practical wisdom. He makes it clear that if you believe in Jesus and rely on the power of God's Spirit, then your life should look like it.
My brothers and sisters, most of you shouldn't become teachers. That's because you know that those of us who teach will be held more accountable. All of us get tripped up in many ways. Suppose someone is never wrong in what they say, then they are perfect. They're able to keep their whole body under control.
James wrote that one of the toughest things you'll ever have to control in life is you. The things you do, and especially the things you say, make a big difference in the world around you. And just like Jesus used stories, James painted some pretty amazing word pictures to help us understand.
We put a small piece of metal in the mouth of a horse to make it obey us. We can control the whole animal with it.
Think of a horse. Horses are strong, powerful animals. But when this tiny piece of metal is placed in a horse's mouth, even a small person can easily control that huge horse. James gives another word picture too.
And how about big ships? They are very big. They are driven along by strong winds. But they are steered by a very small rudder. It makes them go where the captain wants to go.
Imagine a huge sailing ship. Some ships built now are so big they're like floating cities. But ships don't come with brakes. They can't be stopped over a short distance. That makes it super important for a pilot to be able to steer easily. Here's what directs the ship: a rudder. Compared to that ginormous floating city of a ship, the rudder is tiny. But a single adjustment in the angle of the rudder controls the path of that entire ship. Not too long ago, there was this huge container ship called the Ever Given that was traveling through the very narrow Suez Canal. Well, the winds were really high, and the pilot just lost control. The rudder of that ship didn't do its job, and that huge container ship wedged tight. The canal was blocked for 6 days. Hundreds of ships were stuck behind it and couldn't pass. Shipping around the whole world was backed up. All of that could have been prevented if the pilot had controlled the ship's rudder. Which brings us back to this.
In the same way, the tongue is a small part of a person's body, but it talks big.
Everything that comes out of your mouth and the words that you write or type can change the direction of your day, your week, your entire life. Maybe your best friend makes you mad and a really mean insult pops into your head. If you let that fall out of your mouth, it could just ruin the day for both of you and even destroy your entire friendship. James gives us one more word picture to illustrate how important it is to control what we say.
Think about how a small spark can set a big forest on fire. The tongue is also a fire.
Fire can be a great thing. Imagine a cozy bonfire for toasting marshmallows. If you're outside on a freezing night, a blazing fire can even be life-saving. But those same flames can destroy life too. A tiny spark can flare into a huge wildfire within minutes. And that wildfire can race along at 7 miles an hour through the forest or 14 miles an hour over grassland. It can destroy everything in its path. James wrote that we need to take our words as seriously as wildfire. Every word that comes out of your mouth has the power to give life and encouragement, or to hurt and destroy. That is a huge responsibility. And there's no way you can fully control your words or yourself on your own. But if you ask for God's help, you will be given the power of God's Spirit. And as James reminds us, you can choose your words wisely. And then what you say will begin to change your world for good.
James compared our tongues, or our words, to the rudder of a ship and the bit of a horse. Small things that can make a big impact. And it's true. Think about it. How many times have words gotten you into trouble? You've talked back to a parent or someone else in charge. You got caught telling a lie. A friend overheard you talking about them behind their back. Ugh. Words matter. You know this. You've been hurt by words. How many times have someone else's words hurt your feelings? Someone called you a name. Someone told you a lie. Someone talked bad about you behind your back. Sometimes we're tempted to say things even though we know they're things we'll regret. The pressure just builds and builds and builds and... But wait, words can be good too. How many times has a compliment made you feel better? Or braver? Or more confident? How many times have you heard words of wisdom that helped you make a wise choice? Words are powerful, sure, but they don't always make a mess. They can make things better. But how? James went on to write that no one can tame the tongue. No one. Not you, not me. No human being can control their words. That's why we need help from the Holy Spirit. When you put your trust in Jesus, God gives you the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit can help us cool down. Here's the one thing to remember today. God gives you the power to have self-control. So, when the pressure's building and you feel like saying something you know you'll regret later, just stop and think. You can keep the lid on the bottle. With God's help, you can tame your tongue and control your words. Then you can sit back and enjoy a nice, cool, refreshing soft drink. I think I'll open this one instead. Have a great summer! Well, that was unexpected.
It is always a great reminder to see how we use our words, because words can always be one of the ways we lose our self-control the quickest.
That's right. I love the way Haley unpacked our Bible story today. And one thing that really stood out to us was when she was holding that bottle and she said, you can keep the lid on the bottle, and with God's help, you can tame your tongue and control your words.
Yeah, I thought about the illustration with the bottle. Building pressure was a really great way to help us all understand the way God can give us strength and to stop and think and make wise choices with our words.
I know that in my life, when I get frustrated or angry, I need to remember to stop and think too.
So what about you? Today's story was specifically about words, but where in your life do you need God's strength to choose self-control?
You could draw a picture about that. You could write a note in your journal. You could even talk to an adult about it. If you'd love to show us, the adult in your life can reach out to us at Trinity Kids Kelowna on Instagram or email us at trinitykids@trinitykelowna.ca.
We are so proud of who you are becoming as you get to know Jesus more and more as he changes and is making changes in your life.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We had so much fun, and we hope that you did too.
Stay tuned for the So and So Show, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Hey, friend, what's up? That doesn't sound good. Want to talk about it? You went to the dentist's office because of a toothache and they gave you numbing cream for your mouth. But you used too much of the numbing cream and now you can't talk. Yeah. Oh, it gets worse? Oh, you used too much of the numbing cream on your mouth and it got all over your hands and now the numbing cream makes your hands numb too. Oh, man. Hey, let me see that. Let me see that. Yeah. Oh, I'll get it. I will get it. All right, let's see here. Okay. It says if you accidentally use too much of the numbing cream, you should eat a banana, and it should reverse the effects. Yeah, a banana. It says it right here. Oh, there's if you need one. Okay, I'm sorry.
What?
You don't need to eat a banana. I just wanted to see you do that. It says here that the affection reverse in a couple of minutes. But that is very funny. Oh! No! 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 Please, no!
Hello, I'm Brandon.
And I'm John, and
Welcome to the
So-and-so Show.
And do we have a show for you today?
It's time to play. Simone says. You must do what Simone says, but only when Simone says, Simone says.
Did you know this was happening?
I usually don't.
Okay, sure, we'll play. I'm guessing it's like Simon Says, but with Simone.
You are correct.
I rule at this game, but what happens when we mess up?
You will be hit in the face with a pancake.
Awesome!
Simone says, stand up.
Easy enough. So, on today's show, we're talking about self-control, having control over what we say and do.
Simone says, turn around 5 times.
I'm glad because I sometimes have trouble, with eating myself, especially when it comes to food like candy or Twinkies or candy. Ooh.
Simone says, rub your belly and pat your head.
Yeah, for me, it's my temper. I lose control sometimes when things don't work out the way I think they should.
Simone says, quit rubbing your belly and patting your head.
See, so I'll say things that I regret.
Sit down.
Oh,
Simone didn't say.
I didn't sit all the way down. I didn't sit all the way down.
Temper.
You're right. Control.
I have trouble controlling the things I say too, like when...
Simone says, don't say the word the.
Oh, like when I'm having an argument and I think of, a perfect word, but not just any insult, that one that really hurts someone. Sometimes it just slips out and I can't control it.
Tell me more.
Why are you making me do all... Why do I have to say everything?
It's fun for me.
Simone says, stick your fingers up your nose.
Well, it's not fun for me. I told you I had a problem controlling my words, and now I can't say, that word that's really common in our language, which is English.
Simone says, recite this tongue twister.
Without saying that word? Whether is cold or whether is hot, whether we like it or not. Did it?
Now say it with the word the.
Whether the weather is cold, whether the weather is hot, whether we like it or not. Boom!
Simone didn't say.
Oh, man.
Simone says, take your fingers out of your nose. Simone says, you can say the word the.
Thank you. The. Missed you, the.
Simone says, you can now only speak in questions.
So, what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
What's your favorite movie?
Oh, brother, where art thou? What's your favorite song?
Do you really want to hurt me?
Do you know what it's time for now?
It's Bible story time with Kellen?
Nope.
You lost.
So did you. Simone says, thank you for playing. And now it's time for Bible story time with Kellen.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Just playing a rousing game of Simone Says. It was more challenging than I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, you don't want to mess with Simone. Her words are powerful, which is what today's Bible story is all about.
Then take it away.
Today's story comes from the book of James. James was Jesus' brother, so James had heard some incredible words in his life and knew how important they could be. James wrote that if you could keep your tongue or your words under control, then you could control the whole body. James compared our tongue to different things. Here's what he wrote. We put a small piece of metal in the mouth of a horse to make it obey us. We can control the whole animal with it. So the bit for a horse is small, but it helps steer the whole big horse. Our tongues or our words can help steer us. Let's see how this plays out for our friends, Count Lupe and Mr. Fritter.
There is nothing like taming a wild beast. Hey, Mr. Fritter.
I wouldn't call Sunshine here wild. He's a nice old boy, aren't you?
Poppycock, he is a fierce animal, and I his conqueror. Move, beast. Yah, yah.
Maybe he'll listen if you talk a little nicer, Count. A kind word can go a long way, you know.
Never, Mr. Fritter. I must show this foul beast who is the boss. Go forth, you smelly, stinky horse. Go forth.
Oh, dear.
Ow!
Medic.
Sometimes when we don't use our words wisely, things can get out of control. You use a hurtful word, and you end up being the one who gets hurt. Next, James compares our tongue to the rudder of a ship. And how about ships? They are very big. They are driven along by strong winds, but they are steered by a very small rudder. It makes them go where the captain wants to go. Again, our tongues are very small, but they can make a big impact.
Batten down the hatches. Tie the anchor to the topsail. Get ready to box the compass.
I beg your pardon, Count, but I have no idea what you just said.
It doesn't matter what I said, Mr. Fritter. I am the captain. You are the first mate. You're just supposed to do it.
Aye, aye, Captain.
That's more like it. I will have this ship shape.
I tried to do what you said, Count. I mean, Captain, but I don't think I did it
Enough
quite right.
excuses. Lower the anchor, Mr. Fritter.
Are you sure? I'll do it, but if you could just be a little more patient with me.
I am the captain. Lower the anchor.
Aye, aye, Captain. Oh, dear.
Sometimes when we're in charge, we're tempted to be mean. But you have a greater responsibility to control your tongue when you have people who rely on you. James goes on to compare the tongue to a fire that's out of control. I would see how Count Lupe and Mr. Fritter dealt with it, but I think we can guess.
That is hot. Whoa! Oh no! Whoa!
So clearly, James believed that the tongue or our words are important. When you don't control what you say, there will be consequences. James goes on to write that no one can tame the tongue. So if you really want to control your words, you're gonna need help. That's one of the reasons God has given us the Holy Spirit to help us have self-control over what we say and do. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kellen. Wow. Something so tiny controlling my whole body.
I always thought that my tongue was pretty long.
Reveal the question.
Oh, yeah.
What can happen when you lose control? John?
Why are you asking me? You're acting like that happens to me all the time.
Does it?
No. Maybe. Yes. Okay, yes. It happens and I end up having to apologize and it feels terrible and I don't like it. But I work really hard for it not to happen.
How about you? What can happen when you lose control? Can you hurt someone's feelings?
Yeah.
Do you break something? Do you eat too much?
Ooh, like candy or Twinkies or candy.
Talk about it together.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time on the So and So Show.